Hello everyone, today is June 3rd, 2025, and I am recording in horizontal today. As you see, I'm still wearing my new tank top. It's still good. I'm recording in horizontal today. I don't feel like flipping the camera over, and I honestly think it looks better like this, maybe. We're doing laundry today. That's where we're at right now. We're at the laundromat right now. And I was going to update, but there's really nothing to update on. Nothing much going on, really. So just going to do laundry today. Still no update on. Oh, you're going to bring that over here? Okay. Still no update on the social services thing of if or when they're going to pay for a month's rent. Still working on it. I'm assuming if I don't hear anything by tomorrow, I'll call them. Still no work. Actually, I'm going to go to my job and check my schedule today and see if they gave me any days. But as far as I know, we're still down to the 10th, 11th, whenever we are down to. What else? Nothing much going on. Just really nothing going on. As you see, I have not shaved my face in months. I don't mind the beard so much. The long hair is what I mind. Look how thin my hair is. Looks like I'm going bald. Probably am going bald. I'm old. What are you gonna do? Yeah, so still no hours for my job, but maybe today when I'll go look. If it is, I'll update on the next video if I do get any days. It's just so messed up how they do it, where there's people there, and then they don't schedule janitors, and so the place gets so disgusting. I even took a bunch of pictures and stuff to just document it or whatever. But it's so gross that they don't have any janitor on duty in the whole place, some days, and so everything just gets so gross, and toilet paper towels get emptied, they don't get refilled, just all kinds of stuff. But anyhow, so the messed up part is they do that, and then they'll schedule me or one of the other janitors like once every 3 or 4 days, then expect us to clean up this huge disgusting mess. There's way too many people who work at my job for there not to be a janitor pretty much every day. It gets dirty and nasty every day. And we're talking about, like I said, 100 plus people working, throughout the day in 24 hours, and stuff gets gross. So, but that's neither here nor there. They don't care. I've complained about it and mentioned it multiple times. They don't care. So I don't care about them. What are you gonna do? If they don't care about their employees enough to ensure that the restrooms and the lunchroom and all that is clean, by having us janitors on duty, and I don't care about them. It's just a job. It's just a job. I go there and do what I'm supposed to do, and then I leave, and that's it. I give them work, and they give me money, and that's it. But it's really disrespectful how bad they let the place get, and they expect people to work in the filth. But I don't know. So that is what that is. Summer's coming. It's getting warmer and warmer. Not a lot going on. Not a lot going on. Still, one day, we'd very much like to get out of Central Washington, specifically, the Quincy area. We just don't like it here. You should, if you're able, you should live where you like. You should like your home and your home city and your home whatever county or whatever it is. You should. To a certain extent, it's not going to be perfect. Not going to be perfect weather. Not going to be perfect, like low crime or good jobs or good food or good shopping or whatever positive things. But you should at least somewhat like where you live. And we don't like living here. We never even, honestly, I don't know if I mentioned this before. I think I did. But we never even wanted to come to Quincy, Washington. We didn't even know it existed. The only reason we came out here is because, as you guys know, we were homeless on the street. And I was trying desperately to find a job pretty much anywhere. And where we were at the time, we were in the Tri-Cities in Washington, which is Kennewick, Pasco, Richland area. And I just couldn't get a job. I couldn't get a job out there. And I don't know if I ever told you guys the story, how it came about that we came out here. So because we were homeless, remember we didn't have a car at the time and all that, we'd take the bus, the city bus. And one day when we were on the city bus, it's my son. In case anybody's new here, hey, look at that handsome guy. Yeah. Oh, well, I don't want you to press the record. You could look. I don't want you to accidentally press the record button. Yeah, you're silly, guys. In case you're new to this channel, that's my son, Nano. He's autistic. He's a beautiful guy. He's playing with his tongue right now. You're being silly. Yeah. You're on camera, man. Yeah. Look at your long hair. You got that long hair, don't care. You're so beautiful. Have a kiss. Okay. That's going to finish telling his story. Yeah, I know. I love you so much. Thank you. I love you so much. So much is in bunches. I love you so much is in bunches. You like playing with my beard sometimes? Yeah. I tell him, I say, one day you're going to have a beard, dude. Yeah, you're going to be old man Nano one day. So, okay, so let me finish this story. So, yeah, so we're in Tri-Cities in Washington. That's also in central Washington, just a little bit more south of here, in case you don't know. Anyways, so we were homeless on the streets. We were taking the bus, and one day on the bus, we ran into this older guy. Well, you run into a lot of people on the bus, but there was this older guy, very nice. I forget it. Becca, what was that guy's name who told me about Lamb Weston? I called the guy I called Mr. Potato Head. I'll tell you that in a second. Well, actually, I have Red Bull today too. God, what was his name? No. Anyways, let's call him Kevin. I don't remember what his name was. Really nice guy. And he was older, like I don't know, 60 or so. And he started talking about this place that he had worked at, and he retired from there, called Lamb Weston. And but he had worked at Lamb Weston there in the Tri-Cities. There's one there somewhere. I can't remember if it was Kennewick or Pasco, but there's a Lamb Weston there. And my son's trying to. Yeah. You're a silly guy. What are you doing? You playing with your tongue? Okay, that's gonna finish telling the story. So there's a Lamb Weston there in the Tri-Cities in Washington. I know, son. I know, you're a silly boy. He keeps pulling the camera towards me. I don't want him to accidentally hit the record button and turn it off. Yeah. You get silly with your teeth. You're so funny. Okay, so he worked there, and he kind of, I won't say raved about it, but he spoke highly of it. He was like, yeah, it's a pretty decent place. You know, he retired from there, this and that, and so he recommended that that I go apply for there. You know, he knew our situation, that we were homeless and all that. Then that I was looking for a job and all this kind of stuff, and so he recommended that I go apply there, and so I did. I applied there. I don't remember if I got a phone interview or something the first time, but they did contact me. Oh, hey, interested to work here? Yeah, I am, or whatever, and it fell through. And then I tried again, like 2 or 3 times. I can't remember how many times I tried there, but nothing. Right. So anyhow, time goes on, and we saw that guy several times. Hey, how you doing? And that's why I ended up calling him Mr. Potato Head too, because I couldn't remember his name, and he worked at a potato factory, so I called him Mr. Potato. Not to his face, but just kind of jokingly between Becca and I. Just when I say who that is, she knows who I'm talking about. But anyways, so time went on. Like I said, I applied there a couple times and nothing. And so as everybody knows, our situation was bad, and we got desperate. really needed a job and money and all that. And so I started like more looking for work. And I was reminded about the Lamb Weston again, and then I thought to myself, I was like, well, I wonder if there's other Lamb Westons anywhere, else in the vicinity of, of the Tri-Cities area. And there was one here in actually there was a couple. There was one in Connell, Washington too, which is not far from there, but that one shut down. I told you guys that before too. But anyhow, there's one in Quincy, but Quincy is like, I forget, was it like 100, 200 miles from there? But I was so desperate, I was, we were all so obviously so sick of being homeless and everything, and it's like, I just needed I need a job. I was like, well, I'll try. It doesn't hurt to try, right? And so I looked it up, and I was like, okay, it's really far away, but I'll try. So I applied, and same thing, they ended up calling me, whatever. But this time, I got an in-person interview instead of on the phone interview, and that's when I started telling you guys, hey, I got this, interview at this position, whatever. So, and then, I ended up getting a car. Luckily, I ended up getting a car, and I was able to drive up here. So I drove way up here. Again, I forget how far it is, 100, 200 miles. So it's, it's far. And I did the interview, and as everybody knows, I ended up getting the job. And then it's like, okay, well, I have a job, so now we need to leave the Tri-Cities and come out here. I can't commute every day all the way down there. I mean, I could, but I would have to leave like 2 hours early every day, and the extreme wear and tear on my car and this and that. So we decided to come up here. We didn't know where we were going to live, whatever, but it was like, hey, well, I'm getting a job, so we need to come up here. So yeah, so the point is, we had no intention. We had literally had no intention of coming to Quincy, Washington, whatsoever. We had planned to come to Washington, we've been researching Washington and other states for a long time, and there was attractive things about Washington State that we liked. A little bit cooler climate, and they have a lot of the things that California has as far as food and shopping and all these type of things, huh? Aside from a few places, but so we wanted to come to Washington. That was planned, just to try it out. We didn't know how it was. But we had never researched Quincy, Washington. That was it just so happened that we met that guy on the bus. He mentioned about Lamb Weston. I tried to get a job at Lamb Weston, in the Tri-Cities. That fell through a few times. And then I eventually tried here in Quincy. They hired me, and so here we came, and here we are. And now we've been here since November. We literally came in November, right? It was like October, November, maybe. Oh my! Were we still down in Tri-Cities? So we celebrated Halloween down there, or we were there for Halloween in Tri-Cities. Okay, so we've been here since November of 2023, and so in November of this year, it's going to be 2 years. So it's been about a year and a half that we've been in Quincy, and we've told you guys before, we don't like it here whatsoever. I mean, there's pros and cons to every place in the world that you go to, but as far as what we like and what we're looking for in a place to live and call home and all this kind of stuff, Quincy, Washington, isn't it? I kind of don't want to get into all of it now because I've discussed it before. This is just not the place for us. Nothing against the people who live here, or the people who are from here, and because people get offended sometimes when you talk about their city, And so there's a lot of people here who are from Quincy, Washington, born and raised, lived here their whole life, And so they get a little bit defensive. Or they could get a little bit defensive, when you say, hey, I don't like your city, And then ironically, there's actually some people who are from here in Quincy who kind of feel the same. They don't really like it either, but they're just like, well, I've been here my whole life, I'm stuck, kind of thing. So, there is that shared sentiment as well that there are people from this city who don't like it either. But anyway, so yeah, I'm not going to get into specifics of why we don't like it. We would just to put it nicely, we would prefer somewhere else. I've said it for a long time. We prefer more coastal areas. That's kind of what we've been shooting for a long time. More mild temperatures. Yeah, that is one thing I will mention because even in California, that's one of the reasons why we left California. It's so expensive in California that your options for cheap housing are either A, in the absolute ghetto somewhere, like really, really bad ghetto, or B, out in the middle of the desert, like way out in the desert. Even the desert places are getting expensive. And so both Beck and I, and even Nano was born in the desert, but Beck and I, we've lived in deserts, for decades, pretty much for our whole lives. And we're just sick of the, extreme heat. And, there's a number of reasons why we wanted to leave California, but the extreme heat was one of them. And so that's one of the nice things that, I like, and that we all like about Washington State in general. It's high, since it's higher latitude, it's further up on the earth. The summers are more mild, and it takes longer to get into the summer. Whereas, in Southern California or even other hot deserts like in Nevada and Arizona, the summer starts in like March, and it starts hitting like 90s and in the hundreds. Whereas here in Washington, summer pretty much doesn't start until summertime, until middle of June or whatever. And so we like that. That's one of the things we do like a lot about Washington State in general. But anyhow, here in Central Washington, it gets higher temperatures at least than on the coast. You get more milder temperatures on the coast. A little more humidity on the coast because there's more water, whatever. But you don't get the highs of like 100, 105, 110 degrees Fahrenheit, and as you do in Central and Eastern Washington. So that's just one of the things, and so that's just to give an example. So, but yeah, that's how we came about to be in Quincy, Washington, and we've been here for about 1.5 years now. Yeah, we were in. But how long were we in Utah? Like 2 years. So yeah, we lived in Utah for a couple years, around about, and then we've been in Washington now for about a couple years. We got here just about 2 years ago now. We've been in Washington State. And so far, I would say I like Washington, even though Washington has its ups and downs too. For me personally, I say that I like Washington State better than California or Utah. You like where? You like California better? We'll go back. Bye. Bye, Felicia. I like, but everybody's different. So you don't like Washington, huh? Okay. Well, I like it better. And it is more affordable. I don't know. If we were in the same exact situation in California, even if I was making the same amount of money as there, we would be on the street. Yeah, my money would be worth like half as much over there. Yeah. Washington is kind of expensive too, but the wages are a little bit higher. But it's not so bad as California. California is really bad. But like I said, milder climate. You don't even like the less people. Yeah, so that's one thing that we like, less population density. Yeah. Yeah, there's certain people. Okay, but sit there complaining. This is not a complaining video. It's a happy video. It's a happy video. You can share your grievances, but not now. But yeah, there's pros and cons. I personally like Washington better. Becca obviously doesn't. We can't afford California, so I don't know what to do. I don't know why she likes it's so much traffic. It's more expensive. I don't miss it. I have no intention to ever living in California ever again. That's me. I'd rather, even if I didn't stay in Washington, I don't know, I'd rather try Idaho, or there's a few states that I looked into. I wouldn't mind maybe trying Idaho, or even on the East Coast, a couple states on the East Coast like Maine or New Hampshire. Again, I like the northern states, cooler. I don't think any of us would want to live anywhere where it's hot. So no Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, none of that. Me, my girlfriend and my son, we all hate the really high temperatures, you know, really, really humid, whatever. And so I really this more mild climate is nice. It's really nice. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. I'm gonna stop talking now and end the video because this video is 20 minutes long. It's gonna take forever to upload. So I'm gonna end the video by saying, if you're new to the channel, thank you for coming watching my video. If you happen to like the video or subscribe, thank you very much. And also, if you're new to this video, just to let you know, there's a PayPal link on my channel page if you'd like to donate to, you know, help my family and I through, you know, whatever struggles or bills or whatever we have, or just in general if you'd like to donate to help the channel. Everything always helps. Again, the PayPal link is on my channel page. Yes, to everybody, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next video.